Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting live show looking NBA for today, y'all. We've got our first full slate of the year. So we're going to be looking at a lot more games than we were last night. And I'm going to be flying solo. So we're going to be looking at bets together, and I'll be showing you a bit more of the tools that I use. I use Props Madness a lot, which is the one we used yesterday with Pips and Prop Bomb. But good to have you here, Flo Farrow. Also, Daft, hope you're still around, brother. I saw you with the early look. If you guys don't know Daft, I'm sure you do. We got a lot of the same people that follow us, but dude has a wonderful YouTube channel, had a great video yesterday for the NBA, so I would be checking his stuff out. I'm going to be sharing my screen, like I said, and going through all the tools that I be using. Go ahead and get into the comments, bring your bets, and let's look at stuff together. I've got a few plays in, but I also, like I said, really want to be looking at your stuff. What's up, Purple XD? What up, new page? Good to have you guys in here. But yeah, go ahead, jump in the comments. Let me know what you got. I'll go through a few of the looks that I had earlier, and I really want to start with one that is changed basically from the moment that not the moment, but I put a video up earlier, and I put those out every day with projections for as many player props as I can get to in time for that video. And that one had a look for John Collins that I don't really love anymore because we learned some stuff once the starting lineups came out. He's out of the starting lineup. We're going to be looking at more Taylor Hendricks. We're going to be looking at a lot of young guys. I think it's full tank mode for Utah this season, like legit tank mode, not tank mode that we've seen the past couple of years where they start out and they make it all the way up until like the 7th seed in the West at the beginning of the season, and then they drop down because they trade everybody's. But let's look at what I was looking at earlier. John Collins had some really good numbers when he played starter minutes, and now he's not playing starter minutes. He's projected at 28 minutes. I had him at about 32, which is what he was playing when everybody was healthy, including Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler, Jordan Clarkson, Keontae George, et cetera, right? And now that they're all in, I still thought he was going to play 30 plus minutes. Looks like he's at 28. He's not going to get the starter minutes because Taylor Hendricks is going to get cut into that stuff. So that was just one thing. If you saw the video earlier, that I was going to tell you, not necessarily as good of a look. One look that I was also considering is Jaime Jaquez. This is Terry Rozier. This is Jaime Jaquez. I was just looking at his points. 6.5 is a great number. It's not hanging around everywhere. So if you have 6.5, that's what I'd be looking at. If it's 7.5, that's the highest I would play it. Once you get to 8.5, any kind of edge is gone. But I like his points. This says Terry Rozier. I know it's Jaime Jaquez. That was a typo. And it's not points and assists. It's just points for Jaime, who doesn't really lose that stuff when he's going up, when he's playing with those dudes. Other one real quick, this is the last one I'll really show you, is Andrew Nembhard for right now. I don't have any stats for it. I just want everyone to know I'm super high on Andrew Nembhard, and he's starting shooting guard. Should be the dude that's playing off the ball consistently, and they can't really replicate his defense outside of Aaron Nesmith, who doesn't guard the same dudes that Nembhard guards, right? He guards bigger guys. So Nembhard, I think, will be getting at least 28 minutes. If he gets 28 minutes, 9.5 points is pretty disrespectful, and I believe he's still projected in the starting lineup at that number. So I like that stuff. Let me look at a couple of the things that you guys are putting in here. I'll remind you as well, I'm going to get the bottom line going, and that's going to have all of the leans that I have and that we come up with here on the show. Those are going to be on the bottom line. So let me get that stuff going in one sec. And then if you do come in late, and if you have a question about anything, where these bets are at. So I'm going to put this up on the bottom line, get that flowing, and then go from there. And then I'll start sharing my screen and look at the bets. I know we got some looks already in the chat, which I appreciate. And we'll take a look at that stuff. Where am I looking for here? Yeah, there we go. All right. So putting the leans up on the bottom, and I'm going to have the upcoming next bets, the bets that we're going to look at next upcoming up as well. For right now, I'll just leave this up as a reminder, but I am going to be putting this up. This was from yesterday, and we'll have the bets that are coming up. So I saw one look already for Bam over half a three, and I think that's a really great place to start because this is just a pretty well talked about story, which is that Bam has been shooting a lot of threes in the offseason. They made him take a ton in the preseason as well. So that'll be interesting. I saw some Jonathan Kuminga in there. Let me get a couple from the chat going. Throw those in there right now if you do want to get seen for a minute. And we'll be jumping around games. I'm not going to go game by game. There's just too many, and I want to make sure that we get a ton of them up. Let's see. We got Jalen Johnson. Pat Connaughton's an interesting look. I actually talked about him in the video too. Gary Trent. Let's see. I'm going to put, I got Kuminga in there. I'm going to get Jay Johnson in there. And I'll bring up Connaughton as well, just because I know we want to talk about that game too. We got Jalen Johnson. And we got Pat C, because I'm not spelling Connaughton. Save that. And yeah, we want to talk about that Philly and Milwaukee game, I'm sure. So let me bring up my screen real quick and we'll go from there. All right. Gonna present what I got. I got Props Madness up. I'm gonna be bringing up prop.cash. I'm gonna be bringing up some, what else? Outlier.bet. I got Courtside Pal, our best friend, which might not have updated stats yet on Courtside Pal. So we might need to wait a minute before we get to that. But all right, let me pull up the right thing here. We're going to go NBA Live Player Props, get it going. All right, bet it. Let's see. Can I raise that up a bit? Hang on. Let me see something. Probably not. No. Just a little bit. All right, cool. You don't need to see all that. All right, cancel. Let's start with Bam on the three. So I think we got to look at some of the stuff well, now I just got distracted. My bad. We are going to be looking at Bam threes. I want to get into the preseason with him. This is an interesting point from Van Ego Jones, and I agree. Like Nembhard's props, he hasn't cleared these with Mathurin. I'm staying away until the rotation is shown, and that's a really good point. Now, Benny Matz was supposed to be sixth man, got hurt last year. We'll see how he gets used. I mean, if he just jumps right into his normal minutes, I'm not really positive. I'm going to bring up RotoWire for a minute too, because this is a really important site that I haven't been using enough with you guys, where you can actually, and this is behind a paywall, but you can get projected minutes. Establish the Run has become kind of the what known spot that is the authority on projections. Everybody's waiting on Establish the Run to put out their projections. But I think we should at least look at these. So going to Indy, and it's tough because Indy's going to play dudes. And this is kind of the point that you're making, is that Indy's going to play massive amounts of dudes. They're all going to just play in between 25 and 27 minutes. I keep going past him for some reason. So he's still in the starting lineup. Let me refresh this because I was looking at this earlier. I'll make sure it's right. So yeah, he's still in the starting lineup. Projected minutes are about 28 for him. Benny Matz at 25. And yeah, he's going to be taking Nembhard's spot probably in the starting lineup between him and Aaron Nesmith, depending, do they want offense, do they want defense? And Nesmith's too important probably on defense, to be honest. So he's kind of cemented himself in there. Maybe we should be looking at his props. But Nembhard to me is 9.5 points, man. If he doesn't get the ball and he isn't seen, the Olympics told me a lot about him. So that's kind of where I'm at with him. But let's look at Bam. Yeah, we got to go to the NBA.com site so that we can get the preseason stats. But that's the Bam out of bio stuff. If you just Google Bam 3-pointers, you're going to get a lot of stuff talking about Bam's been shooting a lot of threes, that Spo is making him shoot threes. And that's going to be what we see a lot more from him this season to add to his game. If he just takes 4 steps back from that mid-range, he loves to shoot at the top of the free throw line, then he's going to be in a much better spot. If we look at the preseason, how many games he played? 4 games. And he took, where are we at the threes? 3.3 threes in the preseason. Let me see what that was like in 2023-24 for him in the regular season. What did he shoot for threes? Those go up dramatically. 3-point attempts. Yeah, because he wasn't shooting any. So shooting 3 threes for Bam is a big deal. Is he going to make 33% of them? He's been 36%. So if you want him for 1 3, what's he at here? Let me pull up Prop Madness and go to the Heat game right quick. Pretty good game out the gate, by the way, with these 2 squads who are going to be competing for that division. I think Miami's going to be a lot better than they were last year, and they're actually going to try a bit more in the regular season, would be my guess. But looking at Bam's threes, I don't know why I went past him. Threes right here. It is, let me pull this over, my bad. Half is down to minus 142. I'm sure this got hit by a lot of people because this is pretty common information that Bam is going to be shooting more threes. So I don't like the juice of minus 142. If he's taking 3 a game, you need him to make 1. I don't know. But yeah, I would say Flo Farrow, if you already played him, are you talking about somebody else? My bad. I might be late on the chat. But if you're talking about the threes for Bam, I'm fine with it, but minus 142 is a bad price. So hopefully you got a better number than minus 142. Yeah, my best bet of the day. I didn't have time to get it out today because I've been looking at Thursday night football, but I have been putting those out, and they're 33-13 after yesterday. So feeling really good about that. Might be 34. I can't remember now. 34, 33-13, something like that, because we hit that little honestly, that same game parlay was lucky, y'all. Whoever tailed that the DDV, Dante DiVincenzo 10+ points, Randall 15+ points. Randall got it on a BS tip in at the end of the game. I'll take it, though. We get messed up. Oh, you're talking about Collins. My bad, bro. Yeah. I mean, if you can buy out of it at a certain number, might be the play. Maybe you can figure a way to middle it. with John Collins, but that was my bad. I did not realize that from the gate, like they were just going to be going full tank out in Utah. It's Cooper Flag. Like I'll be the one to say it. Obviously, Utah wants Cooper Flag more than maybe even most teams want Cooper Flag so that they can showcase a white athlete in their town. I'll just say it. All right, let's move past it. But yeah, Utah full tank job. How good is Cooper Flag? They picked up Filipkowski when nobody would pick him up because he's Mormon. I'm just saying, it's not like I'm being that crazy about it. Let me keep it moving because Bam threes doesn't have any more value. But if he takes like 5 in this game, then I can understand wanting to mess with the Bam stuff. There's no stats to really get at with that. But I haven't looked at the Warriors. Let me get to Kuminga in 1 second. I'm going to look at Jalen Johnson and some Pat Connaughton. We'll keep it in the East for a minute. I haven't looked at the late night games because, like I said, I started on Thursday Night Football and don't have any looks there yet. But yeah, so let me look at the Eastern Conference stuff real quick, and then we will get into the other into Kuminga and into like B. Pajemski. Should we be looking at Buddy Hield? I know a lot of people want to bet on Buddy Hield in that offense, thinking, oh, Buddy Hield's going to be more open than he's ever been in his career because he's going to be playing alongside Steph, maybe. But let's get to Jalen Johnson, and then we'll go from there. I'm going to update this real quick. And if you can get a Bam, like if you're playing DFS sites or something like Underdog or Prize Picks or whatever, and you can get Bam out of the bio over a half a 3 and it helps your parlay and it's not like minus 150 that it helps your parlay, then I think that's legit. All right, Jalen Johnson, man, everybody's favorite. It's so funny how everybody kind of did a 180 on the Hawks, where at first they were like, yo, this team's going to suck again. And then they looked at the roster and they're like, wait, Jalen Johnson, if DeAndre Hunter stays healthy, Dyson Daniels, Okongwu, the new kid, Reece Arche, who we don't have props for, is going to be in there to help out guys like Clint Capella and Okongwu. And I think Clint Capella is a really good trade piece at this point for them. But Jalen Johnson is going to be involved. I think we know that. Let's look at his projected minutes real quick. Obviously, securely in the starting lineup. Yeah, he's at 34. He's the dude playing as many minutes as Trey. I fully believe that. So if you have Jalen Johnson at 34 minutes, let's look at a couple of things because I believe the look for Jalen Johnson, I can't remember if it was points or what's not. What's up, Larry Stone Cold? Good to see you, man. Yep, and you got it right here too, which is Utah, Brooklyn, Wizards, all tank. I mean, Wizards are going to be the worst team in the league, man. That's for sure. Let's see real quick. Let me see about Jalen Johnson and the minutes. What I want to look at with Jalen Johnson real quick is, so he's at 16.5 points. He's projected for 35 minutes. I think that's fair. Obviously, you got to give him a little bit of a range. So let's put advanced filters on Props Madness for a minute and go and look at what happens when he plays, let's say 29 to 30. Let's just cap him at 34 because that would still be a lot. He didn't play that as many last season. So it's not that good of a hit rate at 16.5. I mean, look, this got up to 17.5, but there was also stuff with the with and without Trey stuff. That's another thing I want to look at with him. Stat Muse, this is my favorite with or without stat spot, which is just Stat Muse because it brings it up for you right real easy. You don't have to go through filters or whatever. So I'm just putting up Jalen Johnson with and without Trey Young last season. How big a difference is that going to make? On the points, not much, just 1 point more. He actually gets a little bit more boards with Trey. Obviously, the assists go down, but yeah, he's up to 2 more points per game without Trey. Now, look, if he takes a step forward, then yeah, I mean, he's been said that he's looked good. He's obviously coming back from injury as well. I'm a little bit looking like wait and see for him. But look, Daft likes him. Let's see real quick. Hawks making the playoffs this season. Let's go. I took him 40 plus wins because that was like a nice plus money bet. Johnson PRA looks good enough for me to get the moisturizer out. So I guess he's, as he would say out there in Australia, horny for the bet here for over PRA for Jay Johnson. Let's look at the PRA as a whole because he's going to be doing plenty of stuff. Now, the minutes don't really help us, obviously. This is weird. Let me see if it's just capped at 34. Even capped at 34, this doesn't work that well. And this is, I got one selected. Let's look at with Trey Young in here as well. And I might be off it. Like, this is not a first game bet for me. Like, full disclosure, my first game of the season bets are a lot more predicated on, like, is there just a mispriced line based on the fact that we don't know how many minutes guys are going to play. But if you think someone's going to get a good amount of burn in a game, then you might be a little bit more likely to take an over. So if we look at him, yeah, even in 34 minutes, this is a pretty bad hit rate. When you put Trey Young in there, slightly worse hit rate, 37.5. What about just yeah, it's just a little bit worse of a hit rate. It's just bad, obviously. So I mean, if you want to talk about Brooklyn, they're terrible. He will probably get the DFS treatment. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but these are the dudes that'll probably be guarding him right here between Dorian Finney-Smith and Ben Simmons. If we look at head to head, maybe we might be able to find something there, but I'm not seeing anything that's leading me to bet on him. I'm sure if Dad was here, he would tell us why he wanted to bet on him, but this isn't that helpful when Brooklyn's going to be a completely different team this season. But I will say the forwards are the same. That Dennis Schroeder was there last year too. So yeah, you're going to get a lot of the same look. It's just a stay away for me because I don't really know what to do with Brooklyn. That's for sure. Other than they would suck. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you're looking at preseason data and you believe in that stuff enough that like he took a leap, and I'm sure Daft was watching preseason and looking at that stuff, then yeah, that might be helpful. But I'm going to pass on Jalen Johnson. Let me update that real quick. We'll get to Pat Connaughton. If y'all have anything else for the Milwaukee 76ers game, I don't want to get too far from that before I get into the Western Conference and look at Jonathan Kuminga, but let me pull up Milwaukee and Philly. I mean, Pat Connaughton, my thing with Pat Connaughton is that Chris Middleton is not playing. So that would be where we are kind of getting some value from him, is that without Chris Middleton, his numbers go up. Let me just do that real quick over on StatMuse and just go Pat. I do know how to spell his name, but with and without Chris Middleton last season. So last season, there's a little bit of a disparity, but the thing is he's down to these 23 minutes. Let me see what his projected minutes are in this one against Philly. I mean, this could be a blowout. I think Maxey's probably liable to go off, right? We should look at him for a minute and his points against this team. So you got Pat at about 21 minutes. I think that's fair, right? Like anywhere in between 20 to 23 is what we're going to see from him. That's basically what he averaged last season. You can see right here between these two, it's about 23, 22 and a half minutes, whatever, right? So 0.8 points might not seem like a lot, but there's a bit more of an edge when you get to 6.1 points versus 5.3. And if you believe that without Chris Middleton, he is a 6 points per game player, then, and even maybe you want to take the PRA or something like that for him, I think that's legit. I'm going to pull up something that not everybody loves, but I love it, which is my player prop little baby model that helps me at least know, like, am I getting a good number based on averages and things of that nature? So let me pull that up real quick, and I'll just put Pat Connaughton in it, and we can see if we get any actual value out of this. All right, I'm pulling it up right here. So if I'm looking at Patty C, and I'm just looking at his points. The rebounds there are like 2.5. Yeah, assists 2.5. Those are both too high for me. That's a bit of luck that I don't want to deal with. The points and the shots, right? Like the shots go up a little bit for him. He goes from 4.3 to 5 shots per game, but at 5 shots, and knowing that like 3 of those 5 are probably going to be from deep, right? What was he last year? Yeah, 3 exactly. 3 of the 5 shots are from deep. So if he makes 2 of them, obviously we're good. He makes 1, we're in a good spot because then he only needs the 2. And I think that's good. So if you think he's going to go 1 for 3, that's probably the play, actually, even before I get into it with Pat Connaughton, is like, yo, what's he shooting? It's threes. He's a corner 3 shooter. You get a half a 3. Good Lord. You might as well be taking that. Let me see about the alt lines. This is where I also really love outlier.bet. They'll show you some alt lines really easily that give you the odds. That might be updated on some spots, but the alt number here is going to be helpful. Let me pull up Connaughton. All right, look at Pat and look at his 3-point stuff real quick and see what it is for him to hit 2. I don't really like 2 at that point, though. That's the problem. And it's 2 to 1 for him to hit 2. If he's averaging 3, that's not enough for me. And you can only get the half. Oh, yeah, you can still get over here, but not at minus 190. So I would just be taking the points at this point. All right, so that helps us. So 4.5 points, and the over is minus 128 is the best number. Yeah, so you can get 5.5 if you think he's gonna make 2 threes, but that's what they're just trying to goad you into. The 5 is a key number here because I do think he's liable to hit 1 3 in this game, but is he gonna hit 2? Not with the attempts. So then you look at, he just needs a 2. He still can drive to the rim and get that 2. I'm not worried that he only needs to be able to make 3s. So minus 128 plus 104. Looking at Patty C real quick. Let me just delete this. This was me looking at D White. Delete that. Let's put Connaughton in here. Call him Patty C. His mama call him Patty C. I'm gonna call him Patty C. Pat C. Prop is points. The line is 4.5. The under is plus 105. Is that what I said? I never remember this shit. Plus 104 and minus 128 to the over. 104 to the under, -128 to the over. Minutes average, we're going to put him at 22. Let's put him at 21. Let's just know what he's averaged last season. Don't be stupid about this. Pat Connaughton last season. How many minutes did he play last season? He averaged 20. Okay, so we got to give him the 22 minutes. That's what he averaged last year. Those are the numbers we're using. So I'm putting his prop average, his minutes at 22. His prop average, I'm going to put at 6.1 because that's what it was without Chris Middleton. His projected minutes tonight are 21. The book under probability at plus 104 is about 49%. And the over probability at minus 128. God damn it. I don't know this off the top of my head. So I'm going to pull up my calculator, my odds calculator real quick. See about that. At minus 128. 56%. So 56% gives us a 20% edge to the over. So the edge is based on this is what he averages. This is what he's projected to do tonight. So based on the numbers that the book is giving you here, minus 128 and 104 to the over and under, the better play here is the over. And it is a good enough play to bet because it's a 20% edge. I only need a 10% edge to be able to consider playing a bet. 20% really helps me feel good about it. If you think he's going to hit 1-3 tonight, then I think it's a good play. Minus 128, I might just stay away in game one, but that would be a look that I'd be looking at. And the half a three, because that was the original question about Patty Connaughton, the half a three is like, no, not at minus 230. He is better than a 33% three-point shooter. Last season, he shot 34.5%. So not that much better than a 33% three-point shooter. I'd be staying away from that if you're talking about Patty C. All right. Let's keep it rolling because I want to get into the Western Conference, but I'm going to see what we got cooking in the comments real quick. Take Pat C off of there. But if you're going to play him, 4.5 points would be the lean. I'm going to put him on the bottom line as a legit lean because I think that would be a decent play. All right. Wait, this is not the bottom line. This is the bottom line. And that's the bottom line. All right. Get it popping right here. Leans, I'm putting Pat C over 4.5 points. I would not play that past like minus 130 though. So even if you are going to play that, which I don't think I will be, but I'll put it in the leans because it's not a bad look at 4.5 points. All right. Let me look at these comments real quick and see what else we got. Okay. Yeah. So we're staying in this game. I appreciate that. We got Maxey, Gary Trent. All right. Let me put those dudes up so I don't forget them because I have the most ADD. Trent. We got, I know I saw Bobby Poe in there, and this team is probably going to be a bit of a wait and see for me. They were so much unknown, and now they got Doc in there as well. That is a big deal, right? There's a big difference. So Bobby Poe, and then Maxey is the dude that we all want to know about on the other side of the ball. So we'll put up. Let's start with Maxey because I do think this is one of those plays where I'm like, look. I don't like to just be fishy and just go like, let me take a Jokic over. I really hate that. I want to find either a like really disgusting under or, over for a guy like Rui Hachimura last night. Like I was like 11.5 points is too low. You can find value much more likely with the non superstars. But either way, let's start with Maxey and I'll get off my high horse. So Maxey is going to play 38 minutes. I do want to pull up real quick what he did last year. Maxey with and without Embiid last season. All right. So a couple more minutes. 38 minutes. He is the team. So he's going to be playing 38 minutes. Points per game up 1. So not a huge difference in the PPG there. The assists go down. He had full assists more with Joel than without him, which obviously makes sense as well. This is what's interesting too, is without Joel, he's not a very good 3-point shooter. That's a big difference in percentage. He's not a good off the dribble 3-point shooter. He might have become one in the offseason, and I don't know. I wasn't in the gym with Tyrese Maxey, but if he didn't get that much better at shooting off the dribble, which is what he does right here, because he's playing without Joel, so he doesn't have everybody collapsing on Joel to kick it back out to him for 3. So this 40% 3-point shooting, which is like, top 20 percentile of the league, is non-existent when he doesn't have JoJo there to set him up. So the 3-point attempts actually go down because he's like, I'll just go to what I know, which is drive to the basket. Free throw attempts surprisingly don't go up, but the things that I look at for him are the assists go down, the points go up by 1, and the 3-pointers go down. That's what I look at, right? So very interesting here. Like you could look at Tyrese Maxey and maybe think about over on the points, maybe under on the threes, that kind of thing. Let me pull up Tyrese Maxey real quick. Future All-Star of like this season All-Star, by the way. I feel very, very confident in that. The 20.5 points, might as well just get them to 30. Let me pull that up on Outlier real quick, because that is where, like, I can just get really easy alt lines right in front of me on outlier.bet. 2.5 first quarter assists. That's a lot of first quarter assists, but doable. The points right here, I'm going to the alt line. Well, 3.5 threes. This might be a nice, really nice negative correlation, but let's see real quick. The 20.5 points. What if I just make that 30 points? It's just one more, and it's just minus 105. So it's just to juice it. I don't even think it's worth it. If you can get minus 110 versus minus 105 for a full point, I wouldn't be paying that, right? So I would just take the 28.5 points, or just if you want to go crazy and go up to 35, but you're getting a little wild, obviously. If we look at Maxey without Joel, I'm going to pull up the threes, because this is where I might be able to find some negative correlation and juice this up. All right, so 3.5 threes without Joel. How many times did he do that last season? No Joel last season. This is in 30 games. He probably played more than that without Joel. So 78, but let's look at the regular season. Okay, so he played 34 games without Joel in the regular season. He hit his 4 3-pointers in just 7 of the 34. So that's a really good starting point for the under. It's minus 140. I think that's a sort of a slightly less talked about facet of this, is that when he doesn't play with Joel Embiid, his threes go down. So because it's less talked about, there's probably still some value on it. Everybody's talking about Tyrese Maxey over points, over this, so there's no value to that. But under threes is a look, right? And if we put this in and we parlay these, let me pull up. I'll just start with FanDuel, because I know it's the most commonly used book. But if I start with FanDuel and I pull up Tyrese Maxey real quick, let me go to, they already got Buck 76ers for us, because they know we all want to watch it. Even though what are we watching at this point? Like, there's nobody in the game. But if we take the over on his points, which not much value, but it's still not crazy. Like 29 is very doable. Although I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. All right. So if we do that and we go under 3.5 threes for him, plus 381. That's called negative correlation. Should that be a little bit higher? I don't know. But when you have a 2-legger for plus 381 and one of those legs is minus 142, you probably getting some good juice there. So this is maybe worth a sprinkle to me. Like I said, this is an unknown. So maybe it's like 0.3 units. I'm going to put that in there as a potential look for an SGP, because and you know what? I'm just going to do it on DraftKings as well, because I know that's also the second most used book here. And I just want to see if we get better math for that. Let me clear my Terry Rozier same game parlay and look at the Milwaukee game. Where are you at, Milwaukee? Wait, did I pass it? I definitely passed it. I'm tripping. This is the East. Oh, I'm already on it, bro. I'm fucking high. All right, points. And I'm going to go same game parlay, smoke more weed. Points right here for Tyrese to God. Points at, okay, so yeah, this is stupid. I mean, I could do 25 plus, but 29 plus is what his prop line is at. And then the threes rather going under that at 3.5. So he's not going to make 4, but he's still going to get there, because he's going to get to the line. He's going to get to the rim. Well, I don't know how well he's going to get to the rim. Let's see. Can I go? Where is he at? Tyrese Maxey over under 3-pointers. Under 3.5 is only minus 110, but it gives us 525. Oh, wow. Always shop your parlays. That's a big ass difference. $1.50 every dollar that you spent. That's $1.50 per, per 100. That's worth it. So yeah, I think plus 525. If you want to look at that elsewhere, you might even get a better number. But this is a look right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the leans, and I might be hitting that. All right, Pat over. Let's see. Maxey, 29 plus points, and under 3.5 3 p.m. is plus 525 on DK. That would be, I would need 0.2 units to feel good about that. Win a unit back on a really nice bet. I mean, Daft might yell at me. Daft only plays those units, but I think that's a pretty good SGP right there for just 2 picks to the 2-legger for 500 plus 500, a little bit better. That's a pretty good look if you believe in that. And how many times did he do that? Let's see. So we know that the points, this is without Joel Embiid at 28.5. He doesn't even have a good hit rate on the points, to be honest, right? Like this is not something he did very often at 28.5. So 13 out of 34. So it's not a very good hit rate. That's probably a big part of it. But at the same time, what was his head-to-head stuff? So one game he got 30 without JoJo. The other one, pretty bad shooting night, 8 for 19 for the kid. So, we'll see. There's a lot of unknown there, but plus 525 is definitely enough to tickle your fancy. Let me see real quick about a couple of other guys in this game. This wasn't one that I targeted. There's a lot of unknown. We got Caleb Martin in the starting lineup. We got Drummond back in there. And we got Oubre and Maxey, but that's really the only consistent there. And then, Big Booty Lowry coming in off the bench. For the Bucks, Connaughton was a look. I don't know where Brook Lopez is at. He's old. God bless him. He's doing great. He's just old. This is a good question. This is going to be the poll question moving forward. How many points and rebounds could Jonquel Jones average? Considering she's 6'6", I don't think that many, but it's a legit question. All right. The Brook Lopez stuff, I don't really have much for that. Giannis Antetokounmpo. There's not really who's going to stop him on this team that's going to be able to guard him. I don't see anybody. Caleb Martin is going to be guarding Giannis. This might be a field day for sure. I don't know that Caleb Martin was ever tasked with guarding him when he was on the Heat. So I don't know that he has much, maybe a little bit, but yeah, this would be only overs for me for Giannis. You got him without Chris Middleton. Interestingly, without Chris Middleton, let's look at that real quick. Giannis with and without Middleton last season. Last year, I don't think it was actually that much more impressive, was it? Yeah, he scored more points. That was the weird thing I remember from last season. He had 31 with him. Maybe it was a little bit more because there was less Dame than there was, right? Like if you look at him without Lillard last season, this is going to be what we're targeting is like, what is Giannis doing when Lillard kind of gets out of his way since they looked clunky together? So without a slightly fewer rebounds, but more dimes, more points, a few more, probably 3 more shots. So that's what I'd be looking for. I don't really have anything for these dudes. And I know there was talk about Bobby Poe. I mean, let me just see what his projected minutes even are, to be honest. 25. I think that's fair. Coming off the bench, Taurean Prince is going to be too important for their wing defense. They're not going to be able to take him out that much. So 27 minutes makes sense there. I don't have anything that's like giving me an edge on any of these plays here. And Gary Trent Jr., like you got to want to see like how he's going to be, right? Like we don't know how Gary Trent's going to fit in. He's probably going to be Malik Beasley, but Malik Beasley was inconsistent as all hell last year. If you look at him, just look at Malik Beasley last season. Might be spelling that name wrong. 11 points, 41% from deep. So like he was still on 7 attempts. He was making almost 3 a game. Let's just pull up Gary real quick. Gary at 11. Yeah, see, he's at 11.5, which is what Malik Beasley averaged because he's going to get the same amount of shots. And this was a pain in the ass to bet on. If you ever bet on Malik Beasley last season, you know how big of a pain in the ass it was because it wasn't that he couldn't make his shots. It was that sometimes he just didn't get any shots. And then sometimes he was out the game by the second quarter, like, at the middle of the first quarter. And we didn't see his ass again until the end of the second quarter. So I don't believe in his minutes. I don't know what Gary Trent's are going to be. He is a perfect replica of Malik Beasley. Good defender, a good 2-guard, good shooter, probably worse shooter than Malik Beasley, if we're being honest. So, let's see what he shot last season before I just start popping off about Gary Trent. Gary Trent Jr. last season. Got these caps on still. 13.7. Yeah, what was he from deep? 39%. So Malik Beasley stuff, making 2.5 versus 2.8. It's the same dude. So no thank you to Gary Trent, be honest with you, unless you get like a good number on his threes, like 1.5, but minus 196 probably ain't it. Maybe if you thought he was only going to shoot threes, then you would go, okay, let me take over 1.5 threes and under on his points, doing that negative correlation bit, but that would be the only way that I would really do it if I was betting on Gary Trent. So let's get to a couple things in the other side of the conferences here. It's 6:07. So I got another 20, 30 minutes to get some stuff. And I really need to look at this game because I haven't yet, but I want to make sure I'm not missing. I know there was probably a couple of things in the chat real quick. Let me see. All right, cool. We got Wiggins from Free Sauce Zay. Got a lot of stuff. I know there's so many damn comments. I can't wait till I'm ready to just hire somebody to produce this damn show so we can actually get it popping. But appreciate you, Daft, no doubt. All right, let me keep going with the West. So I'm just gonna go through some things here. We got Kuminga being talked about, and we've got Wiggins was in there. I know Buddy Hield was in there. All these dudes, honestly, like all of them. So let me start with projected minutes because there's so many guys for Kerr to play. I was talking about this in the VIP Discord. This is something I want to look at because I think there's value to be found, but you got to know some stuff. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to know everything. TJD is someone I loved betting on last year. Let's start with that just because, 7.5 points, but you got to have an edge for him. So let's see. And the rebounds were 5.5. Okay. This could be a look. Let's see. He's playing 22, 27, 25, 23. So he's not playing big minutes here, and still getting these boards really well, right? Against Portland, rather. Let's pull up our friend Courtside Pal for a minute and see if you're not familiar with this one. This is a great way to see player type versus defenses rather than like player position. Sometimes player position is whack because Luka Doncic, whatever he's listed as, is not his position. He's a point small forward power guy. That's his position. So looking at, I already forgot who I was talking about. I was talking about TJD. There we go. Trace Jackson Davis. And I'm looking at his stuff versus the Portland Trailblazers last season. They're going to look pretty similar, but they're going to be better, to be honest, with Denny Avdia in there. Jeremy Grant is healthy for this game, so at least we know he's playing. They're better with him in there. Let's look at rebounds, though, for TJD versus Portland. So it's a good look. Like that last year, they were 10th worst at limiting rebounds to his rebound profile. This is the link to this is in the description of the video. So if you want to take a look at this is all free on courtsidepal.com. It's a dude who does Ballpark Pal if you're interested. But all right, keep it rolling. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Let's look. So yeah, the rebounds might be a play. I think we need to talk about minutes. So if he's at 24 minutes is what the projection was on RotoWire. 24 minutes right here. Last season, let's put his floor. I really don't know how to project this, dude. I'm going to put him at 20 to 24, I think. I'll put him at 25 for right now. If he plays the 25 minutes over the boards in 11 of 16, he doesn't need that much time to get rebounds. When he's the center out there, to be honest, like he's definitely their best rebounder. And when he's playing with Jonathan Kuminga, who is not a good rebounder for somebody with his size, then he's liable to get even more boards. So I think TJD boards off bat is a look. 5.5 minus 110. That is the best number. And that seems reasonable with a nice hit rate, averaging 7. So it's close. I don't know if you're going to have much of an edge here. On the season, he averaged 5.4 in how many minutes did he play? My bad. Let me do it right here because I know this will show me. I'm going to pull up Trace. Is there value on this, man? It feels like there's value, but it also does. I don't have enough that's like pushing me to it. Rebounds, 5.5. I'm sorry. I'm trying to look at how many he made, how many minutes. So 16.7, he averaged 5.4. Well, this says he averaged 5.03 last year. I guess that's, it is taking into account 24. So interesting. He only went over 27 of 68 games, but once again, look at these minutes. So this is 16.7 minutes, 10 rebound chances in 16.7 minutes. So let's put TJD in here real quick. So I'm putting TJD Rebs. The line is 5.5. The under odds, it's like minus 110 both ways, isn't it? Yeah, let's just do minus 110 both ways. Minus 110, minus 110. Minutes average, 16 was what he averaged last year. His prop average was 5.3. His projected minutes are 24. I'm almost positive that's going to tell us to go hit the over. The book under at minus 110 was at 50. Is it 51%? I should know minus 110. That's terrible. Minus 110 is 52%. That is terrible. I was wrong too. 52% both ways gives you a massive edge to the over if he's actually playing 24 minutes tonight. 41% is a very nice number to hit. Is he playing 24 minutes tonight? Kind of seems like he is. I mean, I don't have anything else to tell me otherwise. I like this play. I like that. Yeah. I'm putting that in the leans for sure. We'll move past it. And I'll look at Kuminga, but there's special circumstances for when I'm ready to bet on Kuminga, to be honest with you, which is other dudes are not playing because I don't trust his minutes. There's so many times where Kerr just gets fed up and is like, we're done here. But let's see. TJD over 5.5 rebs at -110 is a look. All right, that's floating on the bottom line. I'm also going to pin a comment with the leans and everything that we found here on the video when it gets up on YouTube. Let's see. He should. Daft is saying he should. I don't see Portland playing any small ball, which means, or you're probably talking to somebody else. My bad. Whatever. I'm trying to get in on the conversation. Just want to feel a part of. For JK, 17.5 points. Sheesh. He averaged 16.5 last season in, let's see the minutes right quick. Where you at, Kuminga? Damn, I should have gotten rid of some of these. All right, so minutes last year in 2023, 26 minutes. He's definitely projected for more than that tonight, right? 30 minutes tonight. That's suspect to me. I don't trust that as much as I do Jackson Davis 24 minutes, to be honest. Like, he's their backup center, and Draymond, I think they're going to quickly learn Draymond at the 5 just is not going to cut it anymore. They're quickly going to learn that. This ain't Draymond from a little while ago. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust 30 minutes. So if I don't trust 30 minutes for Kuminga, then I definitely do not trust 17.5 points. Let's see what he did when he got 26 to 30. 26 to 30 minutes. Okay. All right. 19.6. So if that is what the projection is, and that seems to be what the books are basing this on as well, is that he's at 19 and a half, and they might think you're getting a deal. But there's too much unknown there for that rotation. So I don't trust that. I think Wiggs, I want to believe that he's going to be in that rotation full time, like doing his thing, but I'm not sure that I believe in that either, to be honest. Maybe there isn't as much value to be found. I thought there would be something that would lead me towards a bet in this game. B-Pod, same concept. Let's see what he averaged last season real quick. Just going back to Outlier for a sec. B-Pod. Podziemski. Looking at his stuff. Last year averaged 26.6 minutes. That's probably, he's in the starting lineup. Ugh, so weird. 28 minutes tonight, and he was at 26 is what we just said last season. 26.6, right on his averages is where we're at, isn't it? Yeah, 8.5 when he averaged about 9.4. That's rebounds and assists. The points 9.5 when he averaged 9.16. And there's not much of a play here that leads me to go like, yeah, he's going to have a time against Portland, to be honest. So I'm kind of out on that one at this point. Yeah, Buddy was one that we wanted to look at too. Let me just take this down because I'm obviously not using it. Just remind people, if you do want to look at anything, I'm mostly looking at the Western Conference at this point, but if there's a game I haven't gone over, we got another 15-20, then you can throw it my way and we'll go over it. This looks like they're telling us this is plus EV at plus 124. Last season, he averaged 3.2. 26 minutes. Potential assists for 5 a game. This is his last 10, though. My bad. Looking at 2023 overall, 3.65. So they're saying, though, if you take this at plus 124, you're getting value. If you, what are we calling him? A shooting guard at this point? I mean, I know it's supposed to be looking at Buddy, but are we calling him a shooting guard? I guess. Yeah. Like, who else would be the shooting guard for this team? There's nobody else that can shoot on this damn lineup. Like, this is a terrible lineup. I hate this lineup. But get some size out there. Get DeAnthony Melton or Buddy Hield in the starting lineup. That's stupid. Not Buddy Hield, by the way. Buddy's only looking at 20 minutes tonight. Yeah, that doesn't really tickle my fancy. 9.5 points. Also, consider the 9.5 points for a dude that shoots pretty much only threes. Yeah, but I'm going to interrupt myself. That's not a good look. 9.5 points. 3 threes, like the majority of his shots are going to be looking like that, but I don't know, man. Lil John, just responding to a comment real quick. You're saying you haven't been able to get into Courtside Pal. hit me up if either just like DM me or something if you want. If you follow me on Twitter, it's at JL Boogie, but I might be able to help you out with that because it's really helpful. I would recommend being able to get it. Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, I was still looking at BPod and I started to interrupt myself. And meanwhile, Daft was telling me to look at his RA, which is what I was on for a minute. If we look at that, we're looking at 8.5. He averaged where are we on 9.6 on the season. A little bit of an edge there. If you get a chance, Daft, let me know what you're looking at when you get a sec about why the RA would be good there. In the meantime, yeah, the Buddy Hield stuff, 20 minutes. I don't know. Like, let's give him. I don't know how many minutes he's going to play, man. And I don't know if I can trust that projection. I still don't know why RotoWire would be saying what they're saying, to be honest. So I don't feel that comfortable. Let's give him 18 to 22. 18 to 22 last year, 11 of 19 over, averaging about 12. Do we buy that? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I had more for you. I mean, even a matchup thing, I'm not going to be able to give you. They're going to be better on defense now that they have Avdia. Kamara's a really a plus defender as well. Looks like he'll be coming off the bench, but still a plus defender. And if he is coming off the bench, now he's playing against Buddy Hield as well. I don't really like it for any of this stuff. I'm starting to like the Blazers more than I like this Warriors squad. I just think it's such poo-poo. I'm pretty over that squad right now. I thought I'd be able to find something, but there's too much unknown. I was considering Ayton rebounds. That was one play I was looking at for this game. Head-to-head, I don't know it was that good. Yeah, it was only one time that he went over the 10.5. 34 minutes, 29, 33. I think he's still probably looking at like 30-something minutes. I mean, definitely 30 plus. Let me look at what they have for him just to compare, to be honest. They have him at 30. Yeah, I think 30 is reasonable. I think that's the number that you expect for dominating tonight in his minutes. So, yeah, honestly, I might just be off this game, bro. This is such poo-poo. Let's get to a different one real quick. Let me see if anybody jumps out. We can talk Phoenix, LA. I was talking about Memphis, Utah earlier, and we were talking about the Pellies. One thing about the Pellies, I'll just bring it up. Like, are you joking me with these numbers right here for these four guys? 22.5 points for Zion. Why does this say 39.5? That's clearly busted. Maybe Zion just got announced out or something. Points, PRA makes sense, but he's obviously not at 39.5 points. 22.5 points is what it, yeah, okay. 22.5 points for Zion, 20.5 for Ingram, 20.5 for Murray. You're saying they're all going to get 20 points and CJ McCollum is going to get 19. Zero chance on this plane of existence that shit happens. So who are we fading? And also, do we get any updated injury news on Murray or McCollum? Murray or Zion were the two that were listed as potential as game time decisions, which means we're going to know 7 minutes before the damn tip whether or not these two dudes are obviously healthy. Let me just see Zion, if I can find it. If anybody has Zion news, let me know. Zion Williamson, if I could spell injury. Obviously, that's going to be like the top thing is either going to be him or porn star is probably the other one. This is all clickbait. None of this is going to tell me. Like, they would just put it in the headline, to be honest. No, now we saying he's out. So, oh no, yeah, this is October. This is today. Okay, good. So Zion's out due to illness. Murray and Alvarado are going to warm up and make decisions on playing. Get out of here with this game. I'm over it. Nah, I'm not messing with this game then, or at least not with any Pelly's props. Okay, look at that. They just got taken down. This literally probably just happened, bro. Yeah, okay, y'all were yelling at me that he's out. My bad. This is what I'm saying. Can I get a producer? All right. Let me see. I got a question. Some good recommend make a great money line bet. For money line bets, I mean, it's the easiest one to research because you can just look at actual win numbers. You don't have to worry about against the spread. You just look at straight up. If you're trying to find value on the money line and stuff like that, I don't have like one spot to go to. That's going to be sort of a compilation of different sources that you either pull into a model or you, like we're doing right now, you just have like 7 tabs open and you figure it out from there. And I can help you with some of that stuff. Obviously, that's kind of what we're trying to do here. Trey likes the Pelly's props when they come back up. Yeah. I just don't know what they are. Like, I would love to know what you think would be like some good numbers that you'd be down to play, or who you might be looking at now that we know Zion's out. So we can, use some of that to our favor. I guess we can. So we got BI already back up. He's at 24.5, yo. Are we sure that the Bulls aren't going to be okay on defense? I mean, Dosunmu and Ball are both plus defenders. Ball obviously could be really plus defender. Vucevic and White are turnstiles. So no, we're not sure they're going to be good on defense. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, interesting. We'll see what happens when the Pelly stuff comes back up. My instinct is fade, but that's also been because there's been a lot of, I feel like, shade thrown at BI in the offseason because, to be fair, nobody wanted him. Nobody wanted to trade for BI because he wanted to be like, he doesn't fit in most offenses. He's just kind of awkward. He refuses to shoot threes. He needs the ball in his hands. He's not a plus defender, even though he could be with his size. So there's a reason that people are fading him. That's kind of where I'm at with him is fade him. If you get 24.5 points, that's a big ol' under. They're not even offering under on Bet Online for that because they don't want you to take under. They want to give you plus 213 for him to get 25 points and maybe feel a little bit like a sucker. Who would I look at in this game? I didn't even really look at this game. I was going to look at maybe a couple more things. Let me see if there's anything real quick that y'all are on. All right. Take 504 Doc says take Herb Jones threes and BI. Yeah. Herb Jones threes are tough to bet on. His PRA for BI is at 30.5 available on Caesars. Looks like it's coming up on ESPN Bet 31.5. Trey, you trying to Trey? I know you're looking for a fade. I know you love them unders, Trey. Let me know who you're looking at if you were looking at under for that. But PRA 31.5. Maybe we got to do a little research, but I don't know what's going to happen. We got to see what it's going to be like. I think I'm high on Giddey. I do think that he's going to have a better than expected season. I also think we've just gone so far down on our expectations of Josh Giddey that he's going to overperform those expectations. But I don't know that I'm ready to just pull a bet for this lineup that has never played together and that we don't know much about yet. Let's see what projections are real quick for the Bulls, Los Bulls. So obviously that makes sense as the starting lineup. And then you got Dosunmu playing 27. Yeah, you got Buzelis, the rook, who some people are high on as well. He's got confidence. I think he's got some chains that he already bought. So yeah, love a good Eastern European dude with chains. The 30s for these dudes, yeah, I don't know what to do with that, man. I'm be honest with you. This is the first day. I'm not even gonna have data to look at, but all right. Let me see. There's a couple of things coming in. Yep. People helping people. I appreciate that. Yeah. Valanciunas is on the Wizards now. Not maybe the worst team in the league. Let's just pull up a couple. Let's just pull up Phoenix, LA, and see if there's anything. I don't know. I like Zoo more than anything, and maybe there's a lot of Kevin Porter chatter that he's going to be doing a bit more coming off the bench as the only scorer. If you look at that lineup for this Clippers squad, man, it's kind of sad. I don't know. It depends how you feel. Maybe you're happy they suck, but Kawhi in there would make a difference. Let's say if you had a knee that he could play basketball on, Kawhi in there would be a difference. So you got Harden at 35, all these starters at 30, Zoo at 29, I guess. Who's coming in for Zoo? Amir Coffey at 15. You're going to play Zoo 29. Who's getting rebounds? Oh, this is a travesty. Kai Jones, maybe? You got 9 minutes from Kai Jones? I heard he matured, so maybe. Nah, no thank you. No thank you on any of that, to be honest with you. What's DJJ at? He was fun to bet on last year. Derek Jones Jr., that was obviously a much different situation playing alongside Luka, but James Harden thinks he's Luka, so maybe there's something to that. Yeah, Clippers getting blown the hell out. That's it for damn sure. Let's see. The Clippers drafted a 7-2 rookie. I don't know. I didn't hear about that. Street Card's always out here talking trash. Let's see. So I'll just bring it up just because in case there's a question. All the links to all the tools I'm using are in the description of the video. This one right here is outlier.bet. If you do want to use that one, there's a link in the description of the video for a 7-day free trial. You can go ahead and just click the link to that. It'll give you 7 free days on the platform here. You can test it out for yourself, see if you like it. But there's a lot of really helpful stats in here. I mean, when you click on a player, if you click on Dick, never not going to be funny. But if you click on Dick, and you go to his points. Obviously, it brings up the graphs. The filters system is everything, right? You want to filter by a certain time sample, last 20 games, last 10 games, head to head. The year 2023, you can go into some more filters by clicking on this and get games with and without players, show home or away. You can look at them on days of rest. You can mess with those filters and all that stuff, right? So yeah, that would be a really solid way to do it. Link is in the description of the video. And then this one is courtsidepal.com. It should be working for everybody, but if it's not, let me know. But either way, this is one where the way you use it is type in a player name. I just go right all the way down to team ranks versus player type. And you're going to see this is height, weight, mass, shooting, scoring, playmaking, rebounding. And then you can look by prop and say, okay, how good are the Charlotte Hornets at stopping Trace Jackson Davis's scoring type from getting points? The answer is they suck. They give up the 6th most points to his scoring profile, which you can look exactly what that means up here and be like, all right, he's a PM or a SC5. What the hell does that mean? And it'll explain to you right here. This is the type of scorer that he is. This is the way that he scores. This is where he scores from, all that kind of stuff. So this is way more helpful than just straight up team defense versus whatever, right? Right. All right. Keep it moving. No more Grady Dick jokes. It's also so shitty that his name is Grady Dick, like Grady in front of the, it's terrible. Grody Dick. There's just too many nicknames. He had a terrible childhood. You know it. Doing okay for himself now, I guess. Over 9.5 points. I don't have anything here for y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this is it. We got to build some stamina up here, bro. I don't know yet. I don't have the data to like sit here and go through stuff with y'all. So I'm gonna put the leans in the description. The comment that I'm gonna pin to the video. So check that out. It's been going on the bottom line. If y'all do want my picks, quick plug. All of the plays that I'm making are in the VIP section of the Discord. Link to that is on wap.com. Link is in the description of that video. Link is everywhere if you want to check out that stuff. The NBA season pass gets you 40% off, blah, blah, blah. So if you all want to check that out, head to wap.com/landyourbets. And I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to have Thursday Night Football up tonight. So if you want to look at the Thursday Night Football player props preview, that's going to get up. Try to get up an NBA video. Right now, those are going in the morning because of the other work I got going on. But we'll do our best here. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Keep coming back and whatever. All right. But yeah, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow at the very latest. And until then, happy betting.